With Week 1 of the 2022 NFL season right around the corner, we wanted to go back in time and find the most remarkable opening day performances ever. From Cam Newton's outstanding NFL debut to Kareem Hunt having everyone convinced the Patriots dynasty was over. Here are the 10 greatest Week 1 performances in NFL history. J.J. Watt, 2014. Watt was magnificent against the Washington Redskins in Week 1 of the 2014 season. The Texans endured a miserable losing streak before this win, and Watt ended it himself. After signing a 6-year contract worth $100 million in the offseason, he proved he wasn't content to sit back and watch the dollars trickle into his account. Watt had 2 tackles for losses and a sack. He also recovered a fumble, blocked an extra point, and multiple passes. His numbers don't do his performance justice, as he thoroughly harassed Robert Griffin III throughout the game, leaving the quarterback with no time to breathe. It was a dominant showing from one of the best defensive ends in the game. This performance set him on the road to winning the Defensive Player of the Year award for the 3rd time. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2018. Sometimes football just doesn't make sense, and this statement pretty much sums up the start of Fitzpatrick's 2018 season because he absolutely dominated. During his 17-year career, Ryan started for an NFL record 8 different teams, making him the spokesperson for all journeyman quarterbacks. However, somebody lit a fire underneath him in 2018 because he had an explosive first game. The Bucs didn't plan on starting him against the Saints, but Jameis Winston's preseason injury left them no choice. In this game, fans witnessed Fitz's magic in all of its glory as he totaled 453 yards and 5 touchdowns, which were both career highs. His 417 passing yards were just the start to a season that saw him eclipse the 400-yard mark 3 more times. Fitzmagic would show up a few more times throughout his career, but never like Week 1 of 2018. Jerry Rice, 1994. It was the first Monday night game of 1994, and Rice knew he had a chance to make history. The Niners met the Raiders at Candlestick Park, but all eyes were on the future Hall of Famer. Fans were excited too, because he was just 2 touchdowns short of Jim Brown's NFL record of 126. They believed that Rice had a chance to at least equal Brown's total against Los Angeles. However, he went even further by breaking the record on a night when he scored 3. It was a fairy tale performance from Rice, surpassing Brown with just over 4 minutes left to play. He even paid a little homage to Jim too, because to tie him, he ran a 23-yard reverse, dashing his way to the end zone for the 7th rushing touchdown of his career. He finished the game with 7 receptions for 192 yards and 3 total touchdowns. Another great story from the legendary career of Jerry Rice. Cam Newton, 2011. Newton's NFL debut went almost as well as he could have dreamed. He exploded onto the scene in Week 1 for a fantastic start to his career with the Carolina Panthers. The number 1 pick broke the record for the most passing yards by a rookie when he threw for 422 yards to surpass Peyton Manning for the accolade. Arizona won the game, but Newton's performance was all anyone could talk about, and his connection with Steve Smith was electric all game. The former Heisman Trophy winner threw 2 touchdowns and added a trademark touchdown on the ground. The only blemish on his stat line was an interception, but it was still a fantastic performance from a rookie in their debut. From there, Newton emerged as one of the NFL's most exciting quarterbacks and won league MVP in 2015. Anquan Bolden, 2003. Bolden was a one-man wrecking crew against the Detroit Lions in Week 1 of 2003 because they couldn't stop him. The rookie wide receiver shocked the world when he broke the record for most receiving yards in an NFL debut. His 10 receptions, 217 yards, and 2 touchdown performance lit the stadium on fire. He then went on to have another dominant performance a decade later against the Packers in 2013. He had 13 receptions, 208 yards, and a touchdown in that game. The 2003 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year is the only player on this list with their 2 best career games coming in Week 1. Bolden won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens and was named to 3 Pro Bowls during his 14-year career. Lamar Jackson, 2019. After a pretty good rookie season in 2018, the masses began to call Jackson a glorified running back due to his run-dominant style of play, and he must not have liked this too much because the following year, he went on a revenge tour starting in Week 1. He sat in the pocket and punished a lackluster Miami Dolphins defense all game. In a masterful performance, he went 17 of 20 passing for 324 yards and 5 touchdowns to become the youngest quarterback in NFL history to record a perfect passer rating of 158.3. Marquise Brown was the primary beneficiary of Jackson's brilliance because he secured 2 touchdowns in the first quarter alone. Lamar went on to record another perfect passer rating against the Bengals that season and even led the league in passing touchdowns, en route to winning the MVP. Not bad for a running back. Kareem Hunt, 2017. Speaking of running backs, Kareem Hunt had NFL fans adamant that his NFL debut was the greatest ever. It's definitely up there, thanks to his explosive start against the reigning Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. Hunt destroyed the record for yards from scrimmage in a debut with a blistering 246. He also scored 3 touchdowns against the Patriots and hauled 5 catches for 98 yards. Hunt led the league in rushing yards and earned a Pro Bowl appearance for his efforts as a rookie. It was incredibly disappointed when his Kansas City career ended the way it did. However, there's no escaping from his talent, and his first start was indicative of that. Many have said it was one of the most incredible individual performances they have ever seen because the game was all about him. He single-handedly made everyone question if the Patriots dynasty was over. Tom Brady, 2011. Cam Newton might have made headlines with a sensational debut in 2011, but Tom Brady upstaged the rookie. Brady spread the ball around so well that he found 4 different receivers for passing touchdowns. He finished the game with a QB rating of 121.6 and 517 passing yards. The reigning MVP proved that he was ready to continue where he left off the year prior because he walked through Miami. Some claim that this was the best performance of Brady's fantastic career. Derek Thomas, 1998. The first game of the 1998 season, when the late Derek Thomas was a 10-year vet and 31 years old. He had the second most significant game of his Hall of Fame career when he sacked Oakland Raiders quarterback Jeff George a total of 6 times. His best was a 7-sack performance in 1990, which is the most in a single game. So, to kick off the 1998 season, he nearly broke his own record. What makes this performance even more remarkable is the fact that there was a growing sentiment that he was beginning to slow down after missing games and posting less than 10 sacks for the 3rd time in his career. But right out of the gates, he shut that down. In total, Thomas ended the game with 6 sacks, and the rest of the team would add 4 more. The Chiefs also held Oakland to no touchdowns and forced 7 fumbles in the game, recovering 5. In addition to his 6 sacks, Thomas caused a safety, forced 1 of those fumbles, and had 9 solo tackles in the game. Undoubtedly, Derek Thomas owns the 2 greatest pass rushing performances in NFL history. Peyton Manning, 2013. Everything went right for Manning in this Week 1 win over the Ravens. It was one of the most remarkable displays of his iconic career. He threw 7 touchdown passes against a weak Baltimore defense that couldn't slow him down. Manning tied an NFL record in the process, completing 27 of 42 passes for 462 yards, but what was so great about this game was that it was all about revenge after the Ravens ended the Broncos' Super Bowl hopes the year prior. The game is well known as the Mile High Miracle, which ended with Joe Flacco's moment of magic to Jacoby Jones. In the end, Manning and his Broncos team got their payback. Baltimore didn't play poorly overall and put 27 points on the board, but Denver's offense was unstoppable, putting up 49. Dan Marino, 1994. In the 1994 season opener, Miami Dolphins fans were excited to see how their future Hall of Fame quarterback would respond after suffering an Achilles injury. The answer? Exactly what you'd expect from the greatest player to ever wear a Dolphins uniform. In typical Marino fashion, he was in immaculate condition as he won a duel against Drew Bledsoe. With the end in sight, the Patriots led 32-28, but Marino had something to say about that and sealed the win. He completed 23 of 42 passes with 5 touchdowns and a single interception. It was a back-and-forth contest that showcased 2 of the league's best quarterbacks dueling it out on national television. Marino eclipsed Johnny Unitas' record for the most 400-yard games when he finished the game with 473 yards. With performances like this, it's hard to argue with some fans who insist that Marino was the best pure passer in NFL history.